Now I can stand here. I have not been working very hard the last year because I have been able to create a company that is kind of like a machine that runs and operates without me. 6 years ago, I started growing microgreens in my living room, and today I'm a co-founder of 4 different vertical farms. Besides this, I am consulting on projects all over the world. We are doing 2 different kinds of monthly community calls. So in the companies that I have co-founded, we're currently generating 1.5 million euros in yearly sales growing microgreens. In this room alone, we are currently generating 1 million euros in yearly sales from growing microgreens. During this video, we're going to be discussing why this business model works and why it's important to work with somebody who already has succeeded in the business instead of thinking that you can do it all by yourself like we did in the beginning. In this video, you will learn why it is possible to start growing microgreens in your own living room and start your business from there without starting to rent an expensive commercial space. So we're going to go through why it's possible to start growing in your own home and grow your business from there, making your first 1,000 euros in profits. You don't need to rent an expensive commercial space, and you can start this with little investment. You will learn how working with the right mentor will accelerate your growth beyond your competition and save you many headaches by copying the model that has worked for us in multiple markets. I will teach you why setting up your business to find recurring customers who keep coming back buying more is a more profitable business model than having to go out and keep finding one-time sales each time. We got to this point, but there was a lot of trials and tribulations. We made a lot of mistakes on the way. So I strongly believe that this video is going to be very valuable to you. And since time is your most valuable asset, this is going to be a time well spent watching this video. So we're going to cover a lot. During this video, I will share more about why this business model works and why the key to making this work is proper execution and working with somebody who already has executed this, because instead of thinking you can do it all by yourself, then there's a lot of value in working together on things like this. It makes a lot of sense. This video is for you who are interested in growing microgreens and want to figure if this is something for you, but this is also a video for you who are already growing microgreens and want to take your business to the next level. You want to accelerate your growth and you want to learn how to keep customers, get more customers, and make sure that they will come back and buy from you even more. So this is something we've been working on for several years now, and as you can see, for 6 years we have been working on perfecting this model. We believe that we have perfected this model. We are going to keep scaling our concept with possible partners, but also with our consultations. We do different programs, and in this video I'm gonna go through a little also about how this works. If you believe, like me, that vertical farming is a great opportunity for growth, that we need to find innovative ways to make a more local food production using less resources and being able to provide food for your local community, then this video is definitely for you. Vertical farming is still in its infancy and a great opportunity to become part of before the market is saturated with efficient companies that find ways to deliver value for supermarkets and the hospitality industry and private individuals, since most produce is transported a long way from where it is consumed. So during this video, I also want to make a deal with you. I am going to show you that working in our programs will be the best investment for you long term, that you are going to create a lot of value in your market and you are going to be more profitable in the long run. So if you're up for this challenge, then I hope you are. If not, then take what you've learned today and apply it to your market. Anyway, this video is going to be very valuable to you, I'm sure of that. And if you stick until the end of this video, I'm going to create an offer for you that, because you've watched the whole video, I will make a special offer that guarantees that we will work with you until you succeed. Otherwise, we're not going to stop working together. So we will apply our knowledge and our expertise in your market. Before we go into these things, I want to also tell you where I come from. So I'm from Denmark and I'm from a regular suburban family. I have been living with my dad most of my life. My parents are divorced, and basically I'm a high school dropout. So when I was in high school, I did not know how to find my way into life. I did not feel like I fit in most places, and I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do when I grew up. You all know this story, like what you're gonna do when you grow up. I had no idea, and I attended high school, tried getting an education because my family wanted me to. I don't know if also that's something that you can relate to, but it's sometimes difficult finding the right profession when it does not interest you at all, and school is a hard time to get through, but also finding work that's filled with passion is also very difficult to find. So that was kind of how it was for me. When I was in high school, we had this conference speech with a famous Danish entrepreneur, and he kind of gave me the idea that I could go out and become my own boss, create like a company where I could set my own schedule, wake up when I wanted to, and basically create life like I wanted to. If I had the will to do it and was focused enough on doing this, then this could be a reality for my life. This idea completely changed my life, and I set out to try to create my own path. I heard this like really awesome quote that like, do not go where the path may lead, instead go where there's no path and then leave a trail. And that kind of became my thesis for my life from when I was 17 to where I am right now. So for years I kind of struggled with addiction. I had really bad habits going into the beginning of my life. I accumulated a debt of around 10,000 euros, and in the end I got to my lowest point in my life where nobody would lend me any money anymore, and I had nothing in my bank account. I had nowhere to live. My parents didn't want to see me at all, and it was a really, really low point of my life. For me, it was never like harder drugs that was a problem. It was more like the cannabis for sure. That's my weakness. It can be cigarettes, it can be alcohol, TV, cannabis, drugs, spending too much time on your phone. But we all have these bad habits that are holding us back, and these habits are controlling our life. And if we don't realize that this is holding us back, it's gonna keep holding us back, and we're never gonna get out of it unless we take charge of our own life. And that's something that I started to understand and started to really work on. So when I was 17 years old, I tried starting a seed web shop, selling seeds online, selling cannabis seeds online primarily. I tried starting an internet tech company. I tried starting a bartending company where we would go out and host these events in private surroundings. And we would do like these cocktail parties where we would teach people how to do cocktails in their own home. We had a small amount of success with this, but I think the first time I really got to a point where it was successful was when I started a grow shop. And this hydroponic shop was kind of like building on top of the seed shop that I had years before that. It was difficult because in the beginning, when I started the hydroponic shop, I had no sales. This was like the fourth or the fifth company that I tried starting, but I had learned a lot of things in the process. And because of this, I understood that it's not a matter of getting your sales fast, it's a matter of building your company right and having the right skill sets to achieve success, because in the end, I believe all businesses are constrained by the skill sets of the founder. So the higher skilled the founder is, the more successful and faster and higher the company can grow. I understood this concept when I had the hydroponic shop, so I just kept going. Did not make any sales the first 9 months, but after 9 months I made the first sale, and then it gradually got to a point where I started selling more and more. So the first year of running the hydroponic shop, I sold 1,000 euros in revenue, and that was like not a lot, but it was the beginning of this whole journey of understanding how to create a profitable business. It took years to get to a point where I now had the skill sets to understand that I need to be able to create the right team. I need to be able to train the right people, train them in the right way, and make them part of what I'm also trying to build. I hope it makes sense for you that if you're more skilled, then you are going to be able to grow faster and grow longer and be more profitable. The first year of my first successful business, I did 1,000 euros in sales. The first year of my second successful business, I did 35,000 euros in sales. So that also shows that it's a matter of the higher skilled I was at the second successful business after I already succeeded made me know and understand how to create revenue faster, how to create a profitable foundation faster. And this is something that you can also take into your business. So one of the biggest lessons that I learned in this process was that if you give up, you're not going to succeed. And if you never give up, you are at some point going to get a small amount of success, and that can propel you to the next success. So it's only done for you if you give up. And if you don't give up, you cannot fail. That's the thesis of how to go through this journey. Because if you don't understand this, you're probably gonna hit some hard times and then you are gonna give up, or you want to feel like you want to give up. But there's always a way. You just need to find out how to maneuver in the sense and create another way of entering issues and problems and challenges. Because you just need to change your approach and then combine that with massive action. So this is what's going to help you, the mindset to help you create something like this. And it's a difficult journey, but in the end it's all worth it, because now I can stand here. I have not been working very hard the last year because I have been able to create a company that is kind of like a machine that runs and operates without me. The last year I spent probably 4 or 5 months having holiday while this business keeps running. This runs because I have some awesome partners. I have Alex and I have Hjalmar, who is the best partners ever, in my opinion. And without them, this would not be possible. But because I understand how to structure, how to organize, and how to train the right people, because I have these skill sets in sales, in marketing, in negotiations, then it's possible for me to be in the position that I'm at. This is also something that I want to train you in, that I want to help you understand, so you can be able to create a business like this where you can take time off and you can actually enjoy life instead of just working yourself to death. I think many people in this life is working too much and too hard and too long, and it comes down to the mindset in the end, because if you believe that life is going to be hard and difficult, it probably is. But if you believe that you can create a life that will be easy, that will be awesome, that you can do whatever you want to do in this life, then that's also possible. So I also want to get into a bit about the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? So I heard this seminar with the guy who was in front of this audience, and he wrote 1 million euros on top of a board, and then he asked a lady in the audience, how much do you make each year? And she said 50,000 euros. Then he took the 50,000 euros and deducted it from the 1 million. So there now was 950,000 euros on the board. And he said the cost of you not knowing how to do 1 million euros each year is 950,000 euros right now. Because if you would know how to do it, then you would be at that level. And that would essentially help you create 1 million euro each year. And that really hit me, and that made me understand. So by understanding this, you will also understand that the value of learning from someone who is at this level will get you to this level faster. And you are not able to learn this without actually learning from someone who's at this level. The first business that I essentially got success with, I spent 4 years creating a hydroponic grow shop. Maybe you've seen my partner Hjalmar, or maybe you haven't, but I spent 4 years and he spent 3 years of his life actually doing everything we could to create a fundamental success in a hydroponic shop. What the problem really was in that hydroponic shop was that we had to go out and we had to find customers all the time. So we had to learn that instead of making a business where you have to go out and you have to find customers who buys LED lights and fertilizer and like grow tents, for example, from us, that was very limited, because once people had bought an LED light from us, they would not need an LED light for the next 5 to 10 years. And that kind of constrained our business, because we would have to go out and find new customers all the time. And that was a very frustrating process, because some months we did a lot of sales and other months we did like almost no sales. So it was very difficult to keep our employees and keep the business scaled. And that's when we got into the idea of why not find a business that produces a product that people need consistently over and over, and getting to a point where we can understand how to find these customers who keeps buying something from us each week, because that would make the business much more scalable. That would make it possible for us to actually have to go out and not find new customers all the time, but every time we found a customer, we would increase the business and increase the business. It's like a staircase. Like every time we find one customer that buys consistently, then whenever we find another one, we go up the ladder, and then we go up the ladder again every time we find a new customer. That was the goal with this business, and with Alex, who's also our partner, who has been trained like a Michelin chef in different Michelin-starred restaurants in Denmark. We kind of like found this business together and worked on how to create this way of doing business. So that's essentially the story of how we got into and understood that this is a business that's more interesting, because if you can find a way to create a business that creates recurring revenue, and you are able to also understand how to keep these customers for life, then you have a business that can run without you, that you can organize to be able to operate on a higher level, and you can actually scale the business. These are fundamental ideas, so this will hopefully give you an idea about why this is important. I hope this makes sense for you, and I hope you can see why this is valuable. We realized the potential of controlled environmental agriculture, since we could use the equipment we sold instead and then find products to grow that customers would buy on a more consistent basis. With vertical farming, we would not be dependent on the outside weather, since the climate can be controlled all year round in all climates, and we can maintain the same kind of quality all the time, all the year round. It was a very, very challenging process to get into, but we learned so many things in it, and now we are at a point where this is just an awesome business to be in. Now, why is it possible to start growing microgreens in your own home and grow your business from there, making your first 1,000 euros in profits without renting an expensive commercial space with little investment? So when we started out, we got a metal shelving system and ordered some varieties of different LED grow lights and started testing out microgreens, because we saw other growers on YouTube, and we realized that it was possible to make this business work with little investment. We started with 2,000 euros in different seeds, lights, and the small shelving system. Started doing a lot of different tests, and with the help of Alex, who was already a chef in the hospitality industry, we started going to farmers markets and started selling our first batches of microgreens. So we both grew microgreens that were living, but also microgreens that were cut. For us, it was a big challenge in the beginning, but little by little we started getting customers in retail stores as well. And then we also got customers in restaurants and different hotels. The next challenge came when we had to figure how regulations worked with food safety laws and promoting our new company. When you understand how all this works, everyone can do this business. Like, I'm a high school dropout, and if I can do it, so can you. So the next fundamental secret in getting this working is working with the right mentor will accelerate your growth beyond your competition and save you many headaches. You can copy our model that has worked for us in multiple markets around Europe. When we began, we had no idea what we were doing. We had to spend much energy and time testing different sales models and how to acquire customers. Later, when we started helping others, the growth has been much faster than when we started ourselves, since we now knew what actions get results and what not to do simply because it's not time efficient. I always had this idea that investing in coaches and mentors was a waste of time, but later I understood the power of learning from someone who knows how to do things more efficiently will quickly get the investment back. It's like going into a maze and not knowing the way out. You have to go through all the dead ends, which will be a big time waste. Instead, having someone who already went through it and know the exact way will get you faster out of it. That's really how it feels doing business when you have to figure everything out yourself. It's so difficult to understand why some people are growing faster, why some companies work and why some companies don't work. And it's going back to the idea that the skill sets of the founder is what makes the company grow faster, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort in learning these skill sets. I see a lot of growers thinking that just because you can grow a good product, it's gonna sell itself. Just because you grow a good product at home and you think that, okay, now it works at home, now you're gonna go out, you're gonna rent a big space, and then your customers are gonna come by themselves. But that's not the case. I see other growers think that just if you keep posting a lot of things on social media, your customers are gonna be attracted by themselves. This is not the most efficient way to get the customers. It's not the best way to acquire the right kind of recurring sales. Just because you can go out and sell to somebody doesn't necessarily mean that you can keep that customer. And once you lose that customer, you're not going to get that customer back, because they already have been working with you and now they figured that this doesn't work in some ways, and then you're going to keep running your head into the wall. So one of the best ways I can describe it was that I was spending 7 weeks in Austria this summer. I went down to Florian, who's also building a company in the Alps. When I went there, he asked me, do you want to go for a bike ride to the top of a mountain? There's like a mountain called Pachacoful, and he had e-bikes that we could go on top of the mountain on. When we went out, I essentially just followed his lead. He was leading the way all the way up. He knew exactly where to go and how to get to the top the fastest way. Then when he went on holiday to Greece with his family, I was alone in the Alps, and then I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna go to the top by myself because it was awesome going there with him. So now I'm gonna charge the e-bike, I'm gonna go to the top, and then I'm gonna enjoy the view from there. But when I had to go alone, I forgot the route that I had followed him on. And when I went there alone by myself, I went through the route that I thought would be the fastest route to the top. But I essentially hit a dead end, and then I had to go back down, and then I had to find another way, and then I had to go on another way up. And I got to the point where I had not any battery left on the e-bike. So I don't know if you've ever tried riding up a mountain on an e-bike that has no battery left. It's exhausting a lot. It takes so much energy to get further because the battery is like weighing a lot in itself, and if there's no battery left inside of you as well, then you hit a dead end, and then you feel like now you want to quit. But if you would have somebody who could show you the whole way, then you could go to the top and reach the top still with battery left inside of you. So that's a great analogy for how and why it works a lot greater when you are working with somebody who's already done it. We have been working and consulting other people in other countries who wanted to give up, but because we could show them the exact actions that worked and how to get the right type of customers, how to maintain those customers, they kept going, and now they are on the way to achieving a lot of success in their market. So last thing I want to tell you, also show you, is that like getting the right type of customers who keep coming back is the best type of customers that you can get and the best business model that you can adopt. As I showed you earlier, when I was starting my other businesses, I did not think about this, and that gave me a headache of always having to find new customers to sell to. So you need to be able to stay consistent and Be consistent in your daily habits, be consistent in your daily routines. That's what keeps your customers happy, and it can be what repels your customers as well. If you are inconsistent in your quality and what you say, then you will lose potential customers over time as fast as you can get them. But if you stick to your word and keep your commitments, then you will be much faster and stay ahead of your competition, because your customers count on you and they know that they can count on you. So I really hope all this makes sense, and I hope that you are learning some things and how to create your business in a way that this can be scalable and can be profitable for you in the long run. So are you open to hear how we can help you set up your business in a profitable way to get to the point where you can set this up by yourself and get help from us to get to the point that you understand how this business works and operates in a more profitable way? So we often get asked, like, what is the investment in both time and money with the programs that we are offering? And in the end, it's all a matter of what is your time horizon. You can do this a fast way, you can do this in a slow way, but it's a matter of having the fundamental foundation properly set up, so you're not going to hit your head against the wall all the time. You can do this by spending as little as 1 hour every day, starting this up as a side hustle. If you want to create this as a full-time income and you have a lot of time available, then you can also go all in and you can spend 7 hours every day to get this running. I think that you should start little by little. Start by doing this little and upping the time that you're spending on this, because it's easier for you to start in your home and then from there get the first customers, learn the concept, understand how it works, how to keep your first customers happy, and then from that point you can scale up both in time but also in investment in equipment and go out renting a commercial space. So far we've rented, I think, 8 commercial spaces right now, and we have set up profitable businesses for most of our customers. We set it up as a journey where we take it step by step to keep your investment at a minimum level in all stages, since the skill sets and know-how is different in each phase that you're in. And each market is different. Therefore, having someone who already knows the workings of 10 different markets will be invaluable to you in achieving results in your market. First, you need to learn simple growing and selling methods, going for consistent quality and consumer purchases that reoccurs week by week. This took us the first 2 years to completely master, but we will teach you the first steps in a few months to master. This is how our small-scale business masterclass works. The next 1 to 3 months, you can take the next program, which will be our program Commercial Sales Training. So this is where you will learn to master sales to retailers, wholesalers and restaurants, and how to approach your customer, who to approach first to get your skill sets mastered before taking on bigger clients, which you will also learn here. This process is from 5 years of experience on how to increase your closing rate most optimally and not lose potential clients in the process. How valuable would it be for you to increase your closing rate by just 50%? That's a question that we usually ask, because if you can close 50% more customers that keeps buying on a recurrent basis, then that will be very valuable to you in the long run, and you're gonna have your investment in the consulting so fast back. Our final program is Scaling into a Commercial Farm. This is where you learn how to find the proper space to build the farm in a most efficient way as possible, to not spend too much money and invest in the wrong things, in the wrong equipment, scaling your procedures in a profitable way. And doing this is something that you will get a lot of value from, because if you know how to do things in a more efficient way, then you're gonna save your time, you're gonna save a lot of money on not doing what doesn't work. Essentially, when we are consulting clients in different ways, we consult in both having community calls. Every month we have a community call for our beginner program, but we also have a community call for our more advanced programs. We did a package where we take all of our programs, put them in together if you want to just go the fastest way possible. This is a 6,000 euro investment, but it's gonna propel you so fast ahead because you will know how we take and operate this whole farm by itself. All the procedures, all the ways of getting customers, getting clients in an efficient way, in a systematic way, so you can train your people to get these results very fast, because as soon as you understand this whole concept, we can help you scale this concept together. So we have condensed all our lessons into videos with actionable steps. And after you have watched them, then our coaching calls essentially begins. These calls will be as many as you need to succeed, and you can ask me anything, and then you can get my best point of view from the experience I have. This is 6 years of mastering the system and how to make the sales best for your market. Together, we're gonna make a strategy that ensures that you can stay in front of your competition at all times. And making the proper strategy is essential because there might be competition in your market, but if you can master how to stay ahead of your competition, that's what we did. We started with like 20 different competitors in our market. Now we only have 3 left because we have mastered how to do this most effectively. We can do it at the lowest cost of production, but we can also do this in a way that we can systematize things so much that when something happens, we always know how to counter that and how to overcome those challenges. It's very simple for us now because we've spent 6 years doing it, but when you are starting out and want to make success in your market, then it's difficult to understand how to do these things. That's why you're gonna run your head against the wall a lot of times if you don't understand how to do it effectively and efficiently. So I hope this all makes sense for you, and I hope that you have learned something in this video. If you want to work with us, then I promised you that I will give you an offer now. And this offer is essentially that I'm gonna help you to your first 1,000 euro in profits in the beginner program. And this requires an investment of 1,000 euro in our program. So if you're looking to scale your business with our system to your first 10,000 euro in profit, then it's going to be a 6,000 euro investment. And these 2 programs will be help coming from me and from my team. If you want to work together with us, then you are going to be helped until you achieve these results. So we're not like a regular consultant who charges by the hour. We are charging for the result, because if you're working with consultants that charge you by the hour, then they want to take as many hours as they possibly can to help you achieve the result. We are a bit different in that sense because we are going to help you get the result, and that's what we are charging for. So this is kind of like our idea, that we want to achieve the result together with you as fast as possible, because the faster you achieve the result and the more success that you have, the more success we will have as well. So just remember, it's not about the time or the money, it's about acquiring the right skill sets to be able to succeed with a business like this. No one starts out by knowing everything, and if you want to go the path of least resistance, where time is the most valuable asset for you, then this is something that you can get great value from. So we have set up our farm in Denmark with so good a supply chain that competing with us makes no sense anymore, because we got to a point where we have the foundation of getting the seeds, getting the equipment at affordable rates, and that we can buy many tons of seeds at once. That's also why we're so open on YouTube with this. One of the many reasons is that buying power, we have like buying tons of seed at a time for ourselves and our international partners of high quality seeds that is certified. This is very difficult usually to get a low purchase orders. If you're buying a low amount of seeds, it's not that easy to get a good price of seeds if you buy a low amount of seeds at a time. We're so far ahead now in our position that we know how to get here, and the steps we took, these steps we can teach you as well. You're probably thinking as well that this requires a lot of energy, putting a lot of energy in a farm like this, but Denmark has one of the highest rates of electricity costs in Europe. Also, if you think that this is a very expensive business in labor costs, Denmark has probably some of the highest labor costs in Europe as well. That's not a valid argument as well. And you probably also think that we can sell it at the highest cost in Europe because Denmark is a very rich country. This is also a fault because we are farming nations who sells the produce among the lowest cost, since we produce almost everything locally and does not need to import our produce. Maybe you think you need to invest a lot to get into farming. If you are investing in vertical farming, growing microgreens, then this is something that you can get into at a very low rate. You can set everything up for as little as 3,000 euros, including the mentorship from us. So this can be done in your home without any rent costs. And then you also will understand how to work around the different legal frameworks. So that's very important in the beginning, understanding how the legal frameworks work, because if you don't, then you can make some errors and then you can really get fined in ways that you don't want to do. Looking at a farm like this, then you might think that this is very difficult because you don't know where to start, how to set it up, how to grow it, how to sell it, how to organize everything and scale it. It's made so simple from our side that this is a step-by-step process. And through this process, you can get to the point of having a profitable business in your home first and then getting the help into scaling a commercial farm like this. So the last thing I want to say is that you now have a choice. You can take everything you learned today, you can go out and you can apply it in your own market, you can use these strategies and you can get to the point of trying to set this up by yourself, or you can try and see how it would be to work with us. So we can begin by having a discovery call if you want to work with us. We have a lot of knowledge of how to do this. And if you want to work with somebody who's one of the biggest microgreen producers in Europe, who's offering these services, then let's have a call on Zoom and then let's meet there. I've put a link in the description of this video so you can read more of this. If you are in our landing page, then put in your email and then go to the next page, because there will be a link for you can set it up and set this up as a call, and then I will see you on a Zoom call to see if we should be working together. So if it makes sense for you and for us, then we are happy to help you achieve success in your market, and we will guarantee that we will keep working with you until you've reached the goals that we set together. I hope you got some value from this video. I will see you in the next one.